As you get older, exercise becomes increasingly important. Exercise helps you build bone density, build muscle strength, improve your overall health, but sometimes your life schedule might just get in the way and you might not get your workout in. So if there were only 4 exercises that I'd recommend to older adults or people over 50, these are the 4 exercises. Hi, I'm Coach Todd with feelgoodlife.com. I just want to welcome you to our YouTube channel. If you are over 50 and you'd like to improve your joint health so that your joints feel strong and healthy and pain-free into your later years, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I welcome you to our community. These 4 exercises are so important for your overall health. One of them is focused more on your upper body, and the other 3 are focused on your lower body. So let's go ahead and get started. Exercise number 1 is a sit to stand. So this is the exercise. You're going to go ahead and sit down in a chair. This exercise is fantastic for strengthening the quads, the front of the legs, and the glutes, as well as your core and back. So it's an exercise that works a lot of muscle groups in your body. So you're going to go ahead and sit down in a chair. Try to have your chair about knee level. Mine's a little bit high. That's okay. You're not going to find the perfect chair at home. Use what you have. Ideally, using a chair that's super low might be hard for this exercise. So try to find something that's semi-moderate to the level that your knees are at. You're going to place your feet shoulder width apart. Sit upright. And if you can, scooch to more towards the end of the chair. Make sure the chair is stable, of course. Now, shift your weight forward. And while your weight is in your heels, while keeping your spine neutral or straight and contracting your core, shift your weight forward and stand up. I'm going to show that again. So you can drop down. When I come back down, I'm not placing my hands and my weight on my knees. I'm just using it more for balance and stability. So again, heels, weight is going into your heels. You don't want your heels too close that your knees are going to be over your toes, but you don't want them too far out too that you just can't, you have to rock your weight forward to get up. So you want them about 6 or so inches away from that chair, really so that your knees are just slightly over your heels. Go ahead and shift your weight again forward, and I'll pause right here. You'll notice my posture. My knees are not over my toes, they're behind my toes. I can even wiggle my toes, and my body is upright. I'm feeling it in my glutes and in my quads. If I were to stay here for a longer period of time, my legs would probably start to shake, and I would feel it right in my quads and my glutes. So if you want, you can even tighten those muscles up a little bit more. And now drive through your heels and stand up. It's a great exercise for developing overall strength in your legs as well as your core. Right, as you age, sometimes those muscles atrophy and get weaker, and you start to compensate whenever you try to get out of your chair. You'll start to swing your body and maybe use your arms too much, and it hurts your shoulders or your low back. And so keeping that strength in the pelvic region, in your thighs, and in your core is going to be important for avoiding injury long term. So that's exercise number 1. Exercise number 2 is standing hip abduction. The way that I think it is abduction is moving a body part away from you, like someone was abducting you or abducting that body part. Adduction is adding to. So this is standing hip abduction, so ABD. So what you're going to do is stand upright, keep your spine neutral. That's typically always how we're going to do our exercises. So you stand with your body neutral, spine neutral, shift your weight over to one leg, and you're going to lift that leg up about 45 degrees. It doesn't need to go too high. Sometimes when you go too high, you start to get this pinch inside your hip, and we don't need that pinch. You just want to keep it semi-low. Now, one of the tricks to this exercise is to not lean your body over. Right? So if you think of your pelvis will want to start to shift over as you bring that leg up like this. That's not what we're doing. We're staying upright and neutral and just shifting your body over to one side and raising that leg. You're going to feel that right in that hip. And it's a great exercise for strengthening those hips. as well as your legs. So you want to do that 10 times. What's great about this exercise is it also strengthens that other side, that other leg. And one of the tricks that I often recommend is to bend that opposite knee slightly. So say I was working and raising up my left leg, you can see my right leg here. I'll just bend it just a little bit, just to create that support and strength. And so all my weight's not going straight into my knee, all the weight's being transferred into the ground as I raise up that leg. And then so do that 10 times on one side, and then you're going to do that 10 times on the other side. So again, spine is neutral. I'm not leaning forward. I'm keeping the pelvis straight, not bending it down over this way. So keeping it straight, bend that knee slightly, and raise up that leg. It doesn't need to go far, but you're contracting and strengthening all these muscles around the hip. That's exercise number 2, standing hip abduction. Before we move on, I've got a question for you. Do you have a morning exercise routine that you love? Go ahead and hit in the comments, go ahead and post your morning routine. Maybe it's waking up and going for a walk around your block, or doing some type of exercise routine. We'd love to hear from you and engage with you inside that comment section underneath this video. So what is your morning exercise routine? Exercise number 3 is standing wall push-ups. I'm going to use a demonstration on this wall. This wall is actually a window with a blind in front of it. I wouldn't normally recommend this place, but at home just choose a wall that doesn't have something obstructing your ability. But I'm going to pretend this is not here. So you want to stand about 2 feet away depending on your height. I'm 6 feet tall, 6'1", so I'm going to go about a couple feet away. You can use your feet as a judge. Right, I got these monster feet. So 1, 2 feet, boom, and then there I am. As you get stronger, you can go a little bit further back and eventually get down on the floor. Now, when you want your hands about the same plane as your elbows, right? You don't want them too high up. You don't want them too far down low. So you want them just about the same plane as your elbows. And the other key is to keep your elbows tight to your body. If you have your elbows flaring out while you're doing the push-up, it's going to put a lot of strain on your shoulders. So go ahead and keep those elbows tight and those hands down at about the same plane as your elbows. So I come over here, and as I'm lowering, I'm feeling my back contract. So you really want to feel it in your back and controlling that movement down. And then I push off. If that's too easy, one simple technique to make it a little bit more difficult is just to step 1 foot back and then try it from there. So the weight of my weight is going right into the palms of my hands as I drop down, keeping those elbows tight and then pushing off. Just like this. Now, as you do any exercise, make sure that you're doing it in a safe way, making sure your wall is sturdy, making sure your carpet isn't sliding around, all that type of stuff. You want to make sure that you can do the exercise safely. But that's the wall push-up exercise number 3. 4th exercise is side step-ups. You can use a step, you could use a thick phone book, you could use actual steps. And the reason I recommend side step-ups is because it's actually a little bit easier on your knees than front steps. For front step-ups. All right, to demonstrate this exercise, you're going to stand just to the side of a step. Then when you step up, make sure you give yourself a little bit of room for your opposite foot, and make sure your knee isn't over your toe. So you're not bending too far forward and that knee going over your toe. You want your weight to be more in the back of the foot as you step up. And as you step up, make sure to think about your glutes in your quads as you drive up towards the top of that step. So this is what it looks like. You shift your weight over, and right here I'm using my glutes. My knee is tracking and straight over my toes. Instead of wobbling out or wobbling in this way, it's right over my toes, and I step up. And I feel that transfer of weight from this foot to this back heel. So you want the weight in that back heel as you drive up. I recommend doing it slowly because you're going to feel all those stabilizer muscles around your knee and your leg and your hips working to make sure to control yourself in that movement. So you don't want to just throw your weight up. You want to move nice and slow as you transfer that weight up, thinking about your knee tracking over your toes or just behind your toes and driving up with that glute. And you come back up and step back down, shifting your weight down. And that exercise you can do 5 to 10 times on the one side, and then you can go ahead and switch to the opposite side. Well, I hope you enjoyed those 4 exercises that I recommend doing every single day to help keep your whole body strong, especially if you're not staying consistent with a normal workout routine. If you enjoyed those exercises, we've got a special gift for you called 9 Natural Remedies for Joint Pain. Just go ahead and head over to feelgoodlife.com, and we've got this free gift for you waiting for you. Well, thank you so much for joining me in this video. If you enjoyed this content, go ahead and hit that like button and that subscribe button, and that lets us know that you enjoyed this content, and we welcome you to our community. So thanks so much for joining me.